For over 2,000 years, Buddhism has interacted with all levels of Chinese culture, such as arts, literature, social mores and behavioral norms, philosophy and religions of all classes. Buddhism has therefore become one of the three pillars of traditional Chinese culture, one of the world's largest religious traditions, and its influence is seen in many aspects of our lives and at all levels of Chinese culture. Originated in ancient India, Buddhism is a religion and philosophy based on a series of original teaching attributed to Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, who passed along to his followers the foundations of Buddhist philosophy and practice. This recent trip to the Pauline Monastery refreshed a lot of my memories and teaching that I had had since young. The story of Gautama achieving the status of Buddha is still captivating. According to tradition, Gautama's previous lives prepared him for his final reincarnation. His life was profoundly transformed when he ventured out the palace and encountered the four sights. He first saw an old man, revealing the consequences of aging, which was something that happened to all beings alike. His second sight was of a sick person suffering from a disease. Once again, Siddhartha was surprised and he learned that all beings are subject to disease and pain. His third sight was a corpse. Siddhartha realized that death is an inevitable fate that befalls everyone. At that point, he was sorrowful about the sufferings that people have to endure in life. After encountering all these three negative sights, Siddhartha finally came across the fourth sight, a monk who devoted himself to finding the cause of all these human suffering. This sight gave Siddhartha tremendous hope and comfort, knowing that he, too, might be released from the universal sufferings. And it was then that he decided to leave his kingdom in search of an end to the sufferings of all beings. After leaving the palace for several years, Siddhartha finally experienced enlightenment one day sitting beneath the Bodhi tree, the tree of awakening. He was deeply absorbed in meditation and reflected on his experience of life. He determined not to leave until he found the answer to the perennial problems of suffering and death. He eliminated the ignorance that trapped individuals in the suffering associated with the endless cycle of reincarnation. Since then, for the next 45 years of his life, the Buddha set in motion the wheel of teaching. Rather than worshipping one god or gods, Buddhism centers around the timeless importance of the Dharma. The theme of his teaching revolved around the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth stipulates the reality of suffering which persists throughout all the various stages of life. The second noble truth indicates the desire originated from ignorance will inevitably cause suffering. We humans mistakenly postulate the existence of an autonomous, permanent self. Because of this, we inevitably experience suffering as we try to maintain a permanent hold on things that are constantly changing and impermanent. The third noble truth is the cessation of suffering. This truth tells us that it is possible to eliminate desire and ignorance and therefore free any individual from suffering. Finally, the fourth noble truth points us to a path that brings us the termination of suffering, often referred to as the Eightfold Path. The path includes right view, right intention, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The different parts of the Noble Eightfold Path are grouped under three main headings known as the Threefold training. They are discipline, meditation, wisdom. It is believed that by following this noble Eightfold Path, it will lead to liberation in the form of nirvana, the final goal of Buddhism. Buddhism is a religion which does not believe in the existence of any supernatural creator. From the studying of Buddhism, we are advised to take refuge in our own self. We are asked to have a rationalistic outlook to avoid both the extreme of self-denial and the extreme of self-indulgence, and leads to the realization of impermanence of all things. Therefore, Buddhism is more a code of conduct, a way of life, than a religion. It is the basis of which people can live their life in peace and happiness. This visit to the Big Buddha was both mesmerizing and relaxing. It reminds us that our desire for pleasant experiences in life and our aversion to unpleasant experiences give rise to our ultimate suffering. It is therefore important to remember that there are many factors in life that are out of our control. Our human mind is the root of everything. It is the creator of happiness as well as suffering. Everything is constantly changing. Trying to hold on to pleasant things while pushing away unpleasant ones makes us all very unhappy, because it is a battle that we cannot win. Remembering the law of cause and effect, the lasting values in this impermanent world, I'm grateful to be reminded once again of the Buddha's teaching from this trip, and would like to end this video with a very beautiful Buddhist prayer. Through the working of great compassion in their hearts, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all never be separated from the sacred happiness which is sorrowless. May all live in equanimity without too much attachment and too much aversion, and live believing in the equality of all that lives. Namo Amida Buddha.